So I've worked with Little Mix. So I vocal produced their Confetti album. And when people would ask like, oh, how long have you known each other? My dad was like, a very long time. And he never lies to me. We have a very good like working relationship. Whenever we work together, he does not BS. He's not one of those parents that like, it's like, you're amazing, everything you do is perfect. He'd be like, that was not great.
Hello dear fellas, welcome back to GrooveNexus Spotlight. This is your host Pooja Kashyap and you're watching GrooveTalks. Got the music dynamo in the house today, none other than Raphaella, but she is back and bringing the house down with her latest banger, Holla At Me. This is the kind of track that makes you want to hit the dance floor and never leave. For sure, your ears are in for a treat. She is the songwriter, producer, and vocal master behind some of the biggest tracks you have jammed to. She has done it all. She has collaborated with Martin Garrix, Armin Van Buuren, and if you remember the last album by Little Mix, Confetti, she has provided vocals to all the tracks. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this party started and hear from the Raphaella herself, her journey behind music and story behind, of course, Holla At Me.
Right.
How do you pronounce your name?
Raphaella, you're nailing.
This is the first time you are interacting with Indian audience, right?
Yeah, I think so.
How are you feeling about it?
Very excited.
Okay, so let's start. My first question would be, how do you define an artist?
That's a really good question. I think for me, an artist is someone who has like a need to express themselves in one way or another. And I think my favourite types of artists create a world of their own that the audience or whoever is like consuming that art is like entering into. So yeah.
You mentioned that you started making the beat one afternoon and quickly became obsessed with the idea. What inspired you to release Holla At Me as your first fully solo production?
So I was born in the 90s and like TLC was like one of those groups that I just like grew up listening to, like just around. And for me, like No Scrubs is probably one of the best melodic hooks of all time, in my humble opinion. And so like I started like writing and creating the track. I had like the bass line, a bit of like the piano line, and like kind of the percussion sort of like parts. And I don't know why, like as it was playing and as I was working on it, it literally like the No Scrubs melody was like a glove to the beat, and I just got really excited about it, and it just like reminded me of my childhood and all of those amazing like 90s and early 2000s like tracks. And so yeah, I was like really excited to I actually wrote the track originally for another session, so I'm a producer and I'm also a writer, and so like often I have sessions in the week and I like to prepare track ideas so I can bring them into sessions. So I was actually like preparing a track idea and like got really excited, and I was like, yeah, I think I'll keep this one for myself. So I never played it in the session and finished it for me.
How do you balance all these roles?
I don't know. I think like firstly I'm a woman. Like smart.
Of course.
But I kind of like I don't know, I think they're all parts of my personality, and they sort of, even though they sound quite different, they're also quite linked in a way, and I never get bored. So like some days I'm just like really bored of hearing my own voice and I'm like, I just really need to make a track, and some days I'm like, I just want to sing and I want to write a top line, and then other days I'm like, I just want to vocal produce. So it really depends. It's quite nice, like obviously like having different days for like doing and different stuff scheduled in there. It never gets boring.
Why did you name it Holla At Me?
So like I basically did a twist on the last line. So I think like it was trying to holler at me is the original, and I kind of wanted to do like a really fun, like more positive, empowered like twist. So the original is already empowered, but like a positive one. and say, you can holler at me if you like, you know, I've got a brand new car, if you want, you know, like I kind of like you, so if you wanted to, you can holler at me, you can call me. So I kind of did like a positive twist on the original, because the original one is like, this guy's trying to holler at me, which is like sassy as hell, and I love it. But I wanted to like do like my own twist on it. So yeah, I thought holler at me was like probably I liked it.
You, let me tell you, you are so fun to talk to. Like, you're my first female guest.
Oh, I'm honoured.
It's the time of my life.
Oh, thanks. I'm so honoured. Well, I'm enjoying talking to you.
How important is the empowerment message in your music, and what inspired you to turn no scrubs into a positive, empowering version?
I think like empowerment is really important to me. Like being a female in quite a male-dominated industry, so there is like loads of super talented female producers, really talented female DJs, but I think like growing up, I wish that I'd had more women to see as like, oh yeah, like that's that amazing woman, like killing it. And so when you're a child, I think without realizing, what you see in the world is what you feel like you can achieve and what you can do. So I wish that I'd had more females in roles of like engineering or production or DJing that kind of made me think like it was something from the beginning that I could do. I was always producing, but I feel like I didn't even realize I was producing. Like no one told me, oh, you're a producer. Like, I didn't realize. I got Logic when I was 15 and I started making beats, and I was like, well, if I'm writing a song, obviously it needs some drums and like it needs some bass and it needs like some synths. But I wasn't like, I think sometimes it can be a bit of a boys club. So, you know, like guys, when they get together, they produce, they're like, oh mate, come, I'll give you some samples, I'll share this and share that. I didn't have that. I went to like an all-girls school, and so I kind of wanted to, in my head, like I think it's really important to like for young girls growing up to see more girls in roles of tech, and I think that's like something that's been really important to me, to kind of like shout and be like, I produce, I do this, like if I can, you definitely can. So yeah, I think it's probably one of like the most important like things for me to like inspire young girls that they can do the same.
Couldn't agree more.
Oh, thank you.
I would want to know, what elements of TLC's No Scrubs did you want to retain, and what did you aim to transform in your reinterpretation?
So I think the melody for me is like completely untouchable. the hook melody is like absolute gold, and I really wanted to keep that. I feel like my version also has a sassiness to it. I think that like female empowered sassiness is very important to retain. I just did like a bit of a flip of it, be like, yeah, I'm like a boss. I have my brand new car. I've got my like house, and like you can come over if you want to. So I think that element of like sassy empowerment was important to retain, and also the hook was really important. And I kind of just wanted to like create a version like a bit faster, has like a club beat behind it that like we can dance to in clubs as well. The way I wanted to like bring it into like 2023, if you're in a club, you can like, yeah, I can vibe on this. So yeah.
Right. What was it like working with Mark Rolfe on the mix, and how did his collaboration enhance the final product?
So Mark Rolfe is amazing. He's like one of my favorite producers and writers and collaborators. Like honestly, there's like, I think his discography is too long to list. Like it's easier to be like, what didn't he work on? And he's like a super lovely human to work with, and I've worked with him on like quite a few records, and so immediately when I knew that I wanted to like finish the record and like have the final mix, he was the first person I was like, Mark. And he has this amazing studio in North London. I'm obsessed with synths. Like this is not my studio, I have a studio in Shoreditch, but I've got synths everywhere. Like that's like a little profit, like analog synths. I have like random things like just everywhere, and his studio is literally a treasure trove. Like it's amazing. And so like I had one of like a couple of the synth lines I used on Monopoly, which is like a synth, and I had the digital version, and he has the analog, the original version, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I was like, Mark, do you think we could just run my synth that I've obviously written and produced, like, but through the real one? He was like, oh yeah. So he like just plugged it in, and I was like, oh. So it like really, I'm obsessed with analog synths. Like I don't yet have every single analog synth there is. He does. And so I was really excited to be able to like swap out digital synths and like actually make them with the original ones. And his ear is just amazing. His ear for mixing, like kind of with bass and with like vocals is just amazing. So yeah, it was like a really fun experience to do that with him and have his creative mind like on it as well. Because I did the whole thing myself. So sometimes like by the end of it, you're like, I can't see the wood from the trees, and he's like, so it's good to have like a second eye to like, or ear to like kind of, yeah, finish it properly.
I can just see it from here that you are just surrounded by music and music instruments and so many musical elements. Do you play?
Yeah. So I actually started out I'm classically trained. So like the first instrument I learned was violin. Was the violin, and I was in orchestras. I was like a really cool kid when I went to orchestras like every Saturday. When I say cool, I really wasn't cool, but yeah. So I started like violin, and I learned how to read music like around the same time as like reading words. So I kind of just was always like around music, and then I loved the piano, and so I learned the piano like when I was 7, like a year later. That's when I started playing the piano. So yeah, I played violin and piano and guitar very badly. Like I every time I'm like, wanna let this is the year I learn guitar. Yeah, and a bit of daf actually, which is like a Persian percussion instrument. It's like a big round, like maybe you have a similar in India. I feel like we share a lot of like instruments.
I guess it's called sitar, I guess.
Setar is like 3 strings. In Farsi, three tar is string. But this is like a percussion instrument. It's like a rounded one. It's like a massive it looks like a massive tambourine, but it's like more bassy. I have one of those, and my dad's actually really good at playing it. He's amazing.
Is your dad like into music?
He loves music. Yeah, he's like, he was quite, I think if he had known about the music industry, he probably would have he would probably been a producer if he'd known about it. But he actually managed me for like up until 2 years ago, and no one really knows that.
Wow.
We worked together really closely, and like when people would ask like, oh, how long have you known each other? My dad was like, a very long time. But yeah, we worked really, really well together, and we have like, I was really proud that this song that I did with MK and Sonny Fodera called One Night, it went UK like certified silver. So I had a plaque, and I was so excited that I could present a plaque to my dad. So my dad has a plaque as well, and I was like just really proud that that's something that we had done together on like, you know, literally from nothing. So yeah, he loves music, and his favorite genre he like famously says is drum and bass. Basically anything with a drum and anything with bass he's like into. He's like drum and bass. I'm like, yeah, so he literally loves it all.
Father-daughter duo, absolutely killing it.
Aww. Yeah, we have like quite a cute relationship.
Which performance of yours that he loves the most?
I think there's a couple that are special because we would tour together. Like we would go everywhere together. He'd travel with me. So there was like
there must have been something that he.
So there was one. Well, there's like 2 separate ones. There's one that's like it's not like it was a live performance, but it was like a radio, like a live lounge. So it was like a live radio, and it was for this song that I did with Henri PFR in Belgium called Until the End. And so I think it was the NRJ performance. And it was like a live. NRJ is like a very big radio station in Europe. So I did like a live lounge, and it was so cute because afterwards he had like really, his eyes were like just really like, that was good. And he never lies to me. We have a very good like working relationship. Whenever we work together, he does not BS. He's not one of those parents that like, it's like, you're amazing, everything you do is perfect. He'd be like, that was not great, was it? And I'd be like, no, it wasn't. But so when he really is like, that was great, I know he really means it. And he would play, because it's on YouTube, he'd play that performance over and over and over again in the car, and he'd be like, that was a very good one. So I think that one probably. And then I did this one like for Red Nose Day in Belgium, and it was like it was live. It was like live on TV, I think, to like about 3 million people, and then also it was a stadium of 20,000. And I'd been really ill like that week. I didn't even think I'd be able to do the show, and I did it, and I made it. And like when I came back off the stage, he was like, I was really proud of you.
He had a fan moment. We can say that.
Yeah, he was just proud. He was like, yeah, you did it. Like you made it through. So yeah.
You also played on BBC Radio.
Yes.
How was the experience, and how did it happen?
So you mean like live? live, or do you mean, because I played live? I've done like a
Yeah. I saw that video and I was like, wow, who's that girl?
Oh, thank you. That means so much. Yeah, I had like, I guess the BBC have been lovely and like super supportive, which I'm so grateful for. And I did like this. So I was a BBC introducing artist on the Asian network, and I got invited for BBC introducing to perform at Maida, which is one of the most iconic studios in London. Like I was simultaneously so excited and terrified when I got the news. Like half of me was like, yes, and then the other half I was like, oh my god. So it was an amazing experience, like just to be able to perform in such an iconic venue. And then it was live streamed, so it was like a live lounge, and it was really, I mean, you can't hide with radio, you know, when you watch something. So, half of the visual of it is kind of, it's visually pleasing, so also like you kind of, you know, the sound is also important, but it's kind of like two at the same time. But with the radio, there's nowhere to hide, so it's literally from the mic into your speaker. So it was nerve-wracking, but like probably one of the best things I've done. It was really fun, and I performed with like a live band, and I had like a Persian percussionist as well that performed with me, and that was really fun. And there was like, it was kind of done like, you know, I don't know if you know Jules Holland, but Jules Holland is like, he's an amazing pianist and like musician in the UK, and he has like this program called Live with Jules Holland, and it's done where there's like it's a studio, and there's like one stage there, one stage there, one stage there, and each artist takes turn performing, and it was done like that. So I met some really fun, like awesome people. It's a really fun experience.
Proper environment.
Yeah, exactly. It was really just like live. I love live music. I love performing live. I love experiencing it. So yeah.
I feel you are inspired by Little Mix.
Yeah, so I've worked with Little Mix. So I vocal produced their Confetti album. And
really?
Yeah.
I love that album.
Do you? Oh my god, it means so much. Yay.
Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, sure. So I basically met the girls, like I think it was like late, I think it was either early 2020 or late 2019, I can't remember. Megan Catone we're on the same publishing label, we're like publishing sisters essentially. Yes, I would love to. So I came in, I met everyone, and we sort of like started working, and it was such a lovely environment because it was quite like female led actually, and really open and really like collaborative. I thought it would be, you know, walking into that, I was like at first like, are you sure I'm the one for this job? But it was so lovely. It was like one of the best like experiences. So yeah, I love vocal production is another thing that I absolutely adore doing so much, and it was just really good fun just being able to be creatively like expressive and work with them. So yeah.
Which is your favorite track from the album?
From the album? Oh, I love all of them for different reasons. They all really, I have loads of really great memories from them.
Any track that
I think Heartbreak Anthem is one of my favorites. And interestingly, like, so that's the one that was with David Guetta and Galantis and Little Mix.
Okay.
So I vocal produced that, and I kind of weirdly like I did like a video call with the guys who like produced it and wrote it, and one of them is YK, and we're now really good friends, and we write like loads, and it was funny that we were like, oh, we knew each other before we knew each other. And so I think probably Heartbreak Anthem, and I think it's it's such a great song, and I really love like all the harmonies that I arranged on that. So yeah, that's probably my fave. And also I love Rendezvous as well, actually. Rendezvous is like a little bit, yeah, that's good.
Who's your favorite member?
Oh, I can't say.
I love to ask that.
I literally love them. I love all of them, like equally. Like they're honestly like, yeah, sisters.
So you were also like us when they, you know, broke up?
Of course, yeah, but it's not a breakup. It's not a breakup. It's a hold.
You had an incredible career so far with numerous star-studded collaborations. Which was your favorite collab?
It's hard to say because I love like, I feel like every single person that I've worked with and every single like collaboration I've done has like enriched my creative life in different ways. I feel like actually today, Martin Solveig, I have 2 songs on his album, and it was released today, his album, and I love Martin so much because he's one of the most genuine, kind people. He's really, really lovely, and he's like he's huge, obviously, but he doesn't kind of like gatekeep in any way. He's very like generous with his time and sharing like his art. Yeah, I think probably Martin Solveig.
Okay, in the end, I would like
all of them. That's like very hard to like say.
perfect answer for the industry. What advice would you give to aspiring musicians looking to establish themselves in the music industry, especially those trying to experiment with their sound?
I would say 2 things. 1, collaborate as much as you can and write as much as you can. Write on your own and write with other people, because when I first started, like the hardest thing to do was finish a song. I'd always be like, I'd have like bits of ideas and be like, oh, but I don't know how to finish this. And collaboration is so important, even when you're established and I could sit down and I could write a song from beginning to end on my own in about 20 minutes. But that's fine, but you don't learn stuff unless you work with other people. Even just like coming across the way someone else's brain thinks, you learn from. And so when I first started out, like I think one of the best things that I did was collaborate, and I wrote hundreds and hundreds of songs. I probably wrote about 200 in a year. And so like, and the more you learn, the more you're like, oh yeah, like where you kind of like fall down, the other person be like, okay, well I have this idea, and then you kind of learn from each other. So collaborate as much as you can and write as much as you can. And then the other thing I'd say is trust yourself. Like really just believe that if you have something you want to say and you feel like you're an artist and you feel like you have a vision you want to share with the world, trust that. It's very easy to like when you're young to kind of like listen to loads of people's opinions and be like, well, you should do this, you should be that, and obviously be open, like don't have a huge ego because you don't learn, but yeah, really like believe in your own vision. You have to be slightly crazy to do, I think, to do music, but yeah, trust yourself, I'd say.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I would like to have a fun segment, a rapid fire round.
Okay, cool, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I've had a coffee, so I'm ready. Yeah.
Vinyl or digital?
Vinyl, for sure.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, for sure.
If you could collaborate with any artist, who would it be?
James Blake.
On point. Music festival you've ever attended?
Wireless, because I played main stage that year and it was amazing. I think it was like 2019.
What's your pre-performance ritual?
I pray.
Okay.
I center myself and pray.
One song that's guaranteed to get you dancing.
Don't Stop Till You Get Enough by Michael Jackson.
Who's the funniest person you know in the music industry?
Oh, I think Sean Mack. His memes crack me up every time. Yeah.
Okay. Your guilty pleasure song that you secretly love?
Oops, I Did It Again by Britney. It's not even that secret. Yeah.
Favorite music-related movie or documentary?
I think Lady Gaga. Yeah. Yes, Star Wars. It was amazing.
Okay. If you are not a musician, what career path would you have pursued?
I think probably something to do. I'm like a closet geek, so maybe something like literary based. Maybe like journalist / or fashion journalist. That's it. Fashion journalist.
That's so cool. Thank you. That's a wrap for this one segment.
Thank you.
Okay, and just the closing segment.
Hi, this is Raphaella and you're watching me on GrooveNexus Spotlight. Like, share and subscribe to GrooveNexus Spotlight.
Thank you.
It was. Thank you. Your questions are great. They were good fun.
That's it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Go and check out Holla At Me by Raphaella. Link is in the description box below. And make sure to follow her on her Instagram for all the latest updates. And make sure to like, share and subscribe to GrooveNexus Spotlight for more such meaningful conversations. And let me tell you, we've got a surprise for you in the next episode. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.